Well, good morning everybody. It's October the 3rd. This is a great fall day, typical for southern Manitoba. And yeah, I've got multiple projects that I started all year and still working on most of them. But right now I'm headed over to the bin to grab the step ladder, and that'll get me up into the upper loft of the upper loft, where we're going to measure for some railing. This has been something that's been going on for a while, the renovation of our loft, and hopefully we get to put some railing in there so that we can put the grandkids up there and let them play, yell, scream, make all the noise they want with upcoming Christmas festivities coming. So right now you can see that this is the bin that I've been working on. Yeah, a lot of progress done on it. I got this door in here not that long ago, which I'm pretty happy with. There's a few modifications that we need to do yet, but it opens right up and closes as part of the bar that will be for Jordan's wedding next year. So still need to put a bar part on this side and on the inside, and I have a local contractor interested in doing that for me, so that may or may not happen this year, but I can close it up for winter and it'll be good. So that's what's happening with that. And like I say, I'm just going to go grab this step ladder on the inside of the barn, inside of the bin, and that'll get me to the upper loft in the barn. Yeah, the other part about this is I've got tools in about 4 different places on the farm right now, which can be frustrating, but hopefully I'll get all the tools in one spot here shortly. And as I mentioned, it's a great fall day. The leaves are all starting to turn and fall. One big wind would probably take a lot of them down. And we'll head over to the barn here now. I think my gazebo, basically I don't think there's much more I need to do on that. My youngest son, Jameson, put some cement grouting on the bottom of it, just to kind of seal the bottom where daylight and rain and moisture and stuff was getting in. And I closed up this door now, and that helps keep all the leaves and stuff out. But so that's the gazebo. Again, we'll head over towards the barn and maybe make a couple more stops on projects that I've got on the go. A big one that I'm still working on right now is the Polar wood stove, and this is pretty exciting for me. I've had a wood stove since 1990, basically an outside wood boiler which uses water to transfer heat between the stove and the house, and they can be expensive to get into, but they can save you a lot of money. So right in front of the barn there you can see what I call the old beast. It was put in 1990. I used it for 31 years with, general maintenance and everything. I actually just sold it here on Facebook to a fella from Morse, and he's coming to pick it up next week. So it's just sitting there ready to be picked up. Well, the top part of the chimney came off really easy, and I was pretty impressed with how good a shape it looks. I think I've had that chimney on the top there for, I'm gonna guess 10 years, 10 plus years. The stove itself is 31 years old. This part is glued in, so I'm having a little bit more problems, but we'll see how this works out. So the dismantling of the beast. Today is Sunday, September the 26th. Tomorrow I pick up my new G2 Polar, and I need to have this space open. I'm hoping it's going to be fairly straightforward. I have a few modifications I'm going to have to do, but all my plumbing and whatnot to the barn and the house is in place. I need to put a heat exchanger in the house, and right now I'm draining the water out of this stove, and I hope to be able to take it out shortly.
Are you using those?
I think I might use them again with the new stove. So these are shark bites, and by rights, this little tool right here should take those off. It's been my experience, if you have any kind of pressure or angle on these, they're really hard to get off. So if it doesn't work, I'm just gonna cut it up tight and pull out the plastic insert on the part I cut out. They may or may not come off this way.
Okay, so what are we focused on?
The hose itself. Oh, here you go. That one came off. Like I say, sometimes they come off easy and sometimes they're really hard. I like shark bites because they're reusable. I know I can use compression fittings. I've never had any major problems with the shark bites. Anytime I have had a leak, it's been my error. I know compression fittings or even the PEX is probably a better system, but I like this setup. And like I say, if I have a problem with it, I'll just cut back a little bit. And I'll use a pair of pliers and get that off when it's in a better position for me to pull. So one came off okay, the other one I had to cut. And I'll probably end up cutting this end that came off anyways because it's a little bit burred and stuff, and then it'll be a new insert when I go into the new Polar. So with the old aquatherm, I purchased in 1990, there was absolutely no insulation on it at all. So I've used different things over the years, but what I found worked best was old blankets or comforters that were no longer being used, and I would drape it over top of the stove and wrap it up just to keep the heat in. The building itself was insulated, but still a really inefficient. I burnt between 20 and 24 cord, and probably a third of that was just lost to heat off the stove itself. So I got most of the water drained out of the aquatherm, the old beast, and something that I was worried about or concerned about is I put in new piping, probably 2 separate times actually, but I used the same piping between the barn and the house, and it was the bubble wrap insulation, which was a lot better than what I had before, which was basically styrofoam put in the 90s with notches in it and the pipe put in it. So I had the pipes disintegrated over the 30 years, and I replaced both lines with this bubble wrap type piping, which I kind of thought was a good alternative. But then I find out later, after getting on the Facebook groups, that it's actually crap, and it's a little bit too late for me right now. I've got it in the ground, but I'm really concerned about draining this stove over top of the lines and that water getting into the 4-inch casing, which has insulation in foam wrapped around the pipes. So if you're doing wood stoves and putting in underground piping, use a what they call either a Rhinoflex or a sealed foam insert. Make sure that it's totally sealed inside that pipe, because any kind of water that can get into those bubble wrap ones is just going to take every kind of insulation that you have in that pipe and make it worthless. So my pipe is in the ground until I have a problem. Hopefully never, but the potential is there. So I am taking out every drop of water I can to make sure I don't funnel any water back into those pipes. So yeah, I'm draining as much water as I can out of here. I don't want any water going back into my 4-inch casing that runs to the barn and the house. I have the bubble wrap. I bought that pipe I bought it 2 separate times, but 2 years ago and probably 5 years ago, to replace the old lines that I had in. I found out later that this stuff is not recommended at all. If you get water within that 4-inch casing, all the R value and the insulation is shot, and it's next to useless. So I will do everything I can to try and keep the water out of that 4-inch casing, and hopefully it doesn't become a problem for the next 30 years. this stove has been in the same location since 1990. I had the River Rat hockey team help me unload it from my half-ton. I picked it up in Brandon. It came from Sullivan Lake. I believe it's an aquatherm. Basically, it's 2 drums welded together and has been faithful for the last 30-some years, 31 years. And yeah, we took it out. I pick up my new G2 Plus Polar stove tomorrow, and hopefully it will go as nicely going in as this one came out, but she's been a faithful old stove. And I picked up a brand new Polar outside wood furnace, and it's a gasification unit. These things are pretty phenomenal. And having said that, I don't have any real hands-on experience, but I have done a lot of research on them. And basically, in a nutshell, I hope to use at least half or even less than half the wood I used to use before. So I've been spending days hooking up the plumbing and stuff, and I do have it hooked up. I've used all of the PEX piping with shark bite fittings, and I used the pumps that I had from the old stove onto here. And yeah, I'll make a video on firing this up. I hope to actually get the pumps wired up today and get the water in. I'm gonna pick up municipal water from the local town to fill it up, and yeah, and we'll see how this works. So like I mentioned, they're not a cheap stove. This one I purchased because I felt, after looking at a lot of them, that it was good value for the money. It's well made. It's made out of Piney, Manitoba, local Hutterite colony there, and they make them. Basically, the Portage and Maine Polar are both made out of that Hutterite colony in Piney. So a little bit of work left on that. So we'll continue on. I still haven't made it up to the loft with this ladder yet. My wife Tracy's waiting for me so that we can measure for the railing. So this barn has been a project of ours since 2007, and it was an idea that we got when our daughter Jennifer went to Sweden, and one of the places we stayed at had a barn that they had renovated, and they had guests come over and stay in and stuff, and it was a really unique setup. So we moved this barn in 2007, and we have been renovating ever since. And so yeah, it's maybe not the cleanest right now, as my wife Tracy is getting ready for Thanksgiving next week, and she had an art show in here, I don't know, about a month ago. So as we go towards the back of the barn, I'll pass my wife, who's going to wave hello, and we're going to measure up what we need for railing up here. And let's see, okay, so which one of us is going up there?
Are you still taping?
Yeah.
Don't tape my bum going up.
I won't tape your ass going up. Okay, so I think the general idea here, Tracy, right, is this is where we want to put all the kids, right? Like,
right.
Not put them, but right now we have an area right here that a lot of the grandkids play at, and we have 8 grandkids ranging from, a year and a half right up to 10. And so this whole large area, when we clean it up and have Thanksgiving or Christmas, there's a lot of activity that goes on, and a lot of noise and a lot of yelling. So Tracy handles that much better than me, I think would be fair to say. But we want to put railing up, and you can't really see, and I don't know whether, Tracy, you can open up the curtain there. It's not probably easy, but there is it goes back 20 feet. And
it's a 20 by 30 space, which will be the kids area. So we want to put some railing there so it's safe. And then the kids can look through the railing and watch the adults, but they'll have their own space for their own toys.
Their own space, that's what we're after. So, okay, so what we need to do here is measure. So I'm going to turn this camera off shortly. A general plan. Tracy's really good at coming up with plans and whatnot. So this is what we got. So we're going to measure the total length, which I believe should be close to that 20 feet. Okay, you can pull it tight there, Trace.
Okay, you pull yours tight.
Oh, I need to pull mine tight. 21, it's actually 22 feet. So 22 feet of total, but because we're putting railing in, I know that we can't get tight to the wall like that. So I know the railing is 42, a generous 42 inches. So we need to establish where the 42 inches is going to come out of the barn. So Tracy's going to take that and measure where 42 inches is. Oh, so it'll be 3 times 6 is 36 plus 6.
36.
It's 3 foot 6. So 3 foot 6. Wow, did you see how quick we did that mental math? So 3 foot 6 is where that railing is going to touch. So we need to just put something there to mark that. And then we need to do the same on the other side. So that's where our railing can come up. Oh, piece of tape.
You would die doing this before.
Yeah. This is pretty high tech. Generally speaking, I hate carpentry work. My son, actually, my youngest son is doing carpentry work now, so anytime Trace and I do this together, I try and tell myself that don't get mad, don't get frustrated. So while Tracy's measuring that, you can see what the kids' view may be like from up here.
It's going to be an awesome view.
Yeah.
They're going to love it. The adults will love it because the kids will be more contained and away and doing their own thing.
So are we hoping to have this done by Christmas?
Yes, this will be done by Christmas so the kids can be up here.
And
this year, the kids will be here. Everyone's here for Christmas Day. And so, so they're here for Christmas Day, and we'll have Santa stockings, etc. So it's going to be a very lovely atmosphere up here.
This Christmas tree Tracy bought on sale probably, I don't know how many years ago, but
11 years ago.
11 years ago, she tells me. It's got to be 13 feet high. So there's not too many places it would fit, but it does fit in the barn, but we never take it down. So basically the Christmas tree stays up 365 days of the year. So right now I'm measuring from where Tracy has that tape, and she's going to come up with a number.
12 feet 8 inches.
So 12 feet 8 inches is what we got to work with. And then the rest, I guess we will fill in with some sort of, I don't know, either it's plywood or we're going to have to do wooden dowel or something along that line, but we'll figure that part out later. That's it. That's all I'm going to take.
Good.
Are you happy?
Yep.
Okay. Well, Tracy and I were able to finish measuring what we think we need for railing, and we're still talking to each other, so I call that a win. One of the things I forgot to talk about over here that has been kind of a project on the go is the chickens, and this is just kind of a hobby. That's all it is a hobby, the chickens. Z, the rooster, and his flock of hens, although one of those chickens that we hatched this year is also a rooster, so we may end up eating him because I don't need 2 roosters. And we built a hen run, or a caged-in area, because Z was attacking the grandchildren, and we didn't want to have to deal with that all the time. But this is Z and the girls home now, and I have been opening up the gate and just letting them wander around, and I'll probably do that right now while I'm over here. One of the projects that I've got on the go is to make them a winterized coop, which hasn't happened yet, and winter is not that far away. But anytime I come in here, I usually bring the rake, because Z has attacked me from behind. He's a sneaky little guy. Not that he hurts or anything, but oh, and there is one egg today. Usually get an egg or two a day. These are the girls that were hatched this spring. Ah, or are they? See, now there's something. I can't tell just at first glance who's who now. So those are Z's girls. Those are the ones that Z's been around with for quite a while. And the other two I hatched from the incubator from Karen Potter. So that one guy is a rooster, and we're gonna probably end up eating him just because I don't need two roosters. I am amazed at how quick those chickens grow, because they were born, I believe, in June, and it's not out of the realms of possibilities that hen is starting to lay eggs shortly. So that's Z and the girls. This is kind of like their summer home and their summer paddock. And I'm going to leave the gate open and they can roam around the yard, and they come in at night. And then when the grandkids and whatnot are around, I can just keep them penned up. Anyways, that's it from Curry Country Living. If you like that video, give us a thumbs up, a share, or a like. Leave any comments about what you'd like to see on the farm, or I'm always open to suggestions and comments on what to videotape. I love living in this area of the country. It's our own little slice of paradise here, and I hope everybody well, and we'll see you next time.